7 signs the PS Vita is a failure. Well, this list looks interesting. But before we get to this video, let's get to the question of the day. Alright, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out the answer to the question of the day. Alright, so let's take a look at this list. I'll provide a link in the description, and I'll be taking a look at the reasons why this particular article, which was published in February 20th, 2013, so just a couple of weeks ago. 7 signs the PS Vita is a failure. Alright, reason number 1. Sales are far below the expectations. Yes, alright, that could be a sign that it's not selling as much, but you can say the same thing about the Wii U, for example. And many, systems don't really sell that hot, as far as sales are concerned, it just depends, The first maybe few months, okay, maybe the first year, not so hard for the PS Vita. And I guess maybe there's a bigger reason to be concerned about it. Definitely, it's been around far longer comparatively to the Wii U. It's only been out for a few months. It's actually kind of sad. Now, taking a look at the reasoning, you can blame smartphones for the still warming recession, but the fact is that Sony is set to fall far short of its initial projections. Sony projected about 10 million sales for the PS Vita by March 2013. We don't have access to the exact figures, but it's clear they aren't close to that number. We know that the handheld sold just 2.2 million units worldwide by July 2012, 5 months after the worldwide release. In the 6 months since, Vita has its worst sales yet, and seems to have added only a few 100,000 sales during the holiday shopping season. That's pretty sad. Yes, it was outsold by the PSP. I mean, it's kind of a disappointing thing. That's definitely something to be worried about. And Sony has to, I don't know how they can deal with that. The fact that nobody wants to buy it's got to be the pricing. The pricing, and there's many different factors too. We'll get to it as this list continues. Speaking of pricing, next reason, massive price drops. So a massive price drop is one of the reasons it's failing. Let's take a look at what the person had to say. This week, Sony finally slashed the price of Vita by a lot. So far, this is only for Japan, but it's reduced the price of the 3G Vita all the way from £208 to £138. The Wi-Fi model was dropped from 174 to how much? To the same 20,000 yen price point. At this price, Vita is still more expensive than the most expensive model of 3DS. We expect a similar price drop for the US. No, they haven't done that so far. Yeah, gotta keep in mind this list is a couple of weeks old. I don't think so, but I did hear that sales went up by quite a lot. I think maybe it was 4 times after they had a price drop in Japan. You never know, they might actually do it worldwide, but I have no idea. I mean, it's good that the sales bumped up a little bit after the price drop. How is the price drop though? How is that a cause for failure? I mean, I guess because it's not selling, so they have to lose and slash the price. They have to cut it as a sign of its failure, as a sign of the fact that it's not selling enough. It's like, oh shit, like Sony was like, okay, we're not selling that much, let's reduce the price, so here we go. Maybe it's a failure on Sony's part to begin with, giving it that price point in the first place. It's like nobody wants to pay for this amount for that system. It's a handheld PS3. Yeah, sure, we get it, but why the fuck would we pay $300+ for a Vita when we could get a PS3 for a little bit cheaper, and it's pretty much, you know, similar technology, if not, you know, the same tech, just on a handheld. I mean, there's many different factors to it. Alright, reason number 3. The games are non-existent. I can understand this one. I think that it's almost like a... I don't want to say misconception, but there is an impression that the Vita, and even the PSP back in its day, just didn't have games. Like, what games were available for the PSP? You know, what fucking games were on it? Like, people just didn't have that idea in their head that this is a system that has a lot of games worth playing. And I think the same thing right now is with the Vita. This person said, most of Vita's games will be launching simultaneously on the PS3 as well. The 3 games that are coming out that are pretty interesting are Tearaway, Soul Sacrifice, and Killzone Mercenary. But gamers can smell a weak platform. Sure, yes, I understand. Game consoles are a long-term investment, and customers get wary when the sales start dropping and the release list gets thin. Unfortunately for Sony, this has become a chicken-egg conundrum. They need higher sales to convince developers to create games for the platform, but they can't stimulate sales without these games. Yes. The games are non-existent. You know, that's kind of sad. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's worth playing on the Vita. I'm sure it has games. I'm sure it has some decent titles on it. But, yeah, that's true. It doesn't have that reputation of having, like, you know, this massive, mammoth library of different variety. Alright, reason number 4. I think this is number 4. 3DS is also weak. So, because the 3DS is weak, therefore, Vita is also weak. Because it's a sign of, I guess, the console business just being down to begin with. Oddly, Vita's sales woes might be more understandable if Sony was getting crushed by Nintendo. The 3DS handheld is beating Vita in sales by a wide margin, but 3DS is underperforming as well, especially outside Japan. This one I do sense. You know, I have this... You can kind of tell that the 3DS isn't doing great. It's doing alright, and it does garner some sales. It's not... You know, it's doing much better than Vita, but it's not this massive success. Like, it's not this thing where everybody's buying it. And I see a lot of ads on Craigslist, for example, where people just want to get rid of their 3DS, like, fuck the 3DS kind of thing. It's not a boom period for the 3DS. Like, it's doing good, but it's not a, you know, it's not selling out everywhere. The massive success of the original DS in Japan made portable gaming a much bigger deal, and then this was followed by increased PSP sales. Right now, it looks like a widespread apathy toward the idea of an expensive gaming handheld system. Yes, that's true. Yeah, and they also talked about how there's, you know, we have smartphones right now, and so what's the point of paying, you know, too much for all these handheld systems? That's definitely, I mean, that's a very good, that's a good excuse. I mean, the fact that handhelds and smartphones they really are fucking rocking. And they're a very good competition against the PS Vita. So that would be, if anything, I think that's a much bigger excuse. That's a more important excuse to, you know, a reason to say that the Vita is failing is that because of its competition, not the 3DS, so much so that it's the, you know, the smartphones and stuff like that. The success of those tablets and the smartphones, the iPod Touch and things like that, as opposed to the 3DS being kind of not being so hot in comparison. I think that, okay, just because they're in competition, just because 3DS is against Vita and vice versa, doesn't mean that automatically people are going to be like, oh shit, if I don't want to buy a 3DS, I'm going to buy a Vita instead, and vice versa. It doesn't fucking mean that anymore. Just because the 3DS is weak doesn't mean the Vita has to be weak. I think they're just trying to make a comparison, like, oh, there's two expensive, you know, fucking handheld systems that's both suffering right now. Alright, reason number, I lost count, but Sony is just repeating PSP's mistakes. Wow, this one is interesting. Sony is repeating PSP's mistakes. Another one of the reasons why the Vita is supposedly failing. Sony may have to admit that the gamers simply aren't drawn by the idea of almost console quality games in their pockets. I like how they put almost console quality. That's very, very interesting that it's a, the fact that they pointed it out, that yeah, it's true, you know. Vita is very good looking, but it's not as good as the consoles. You know, there's still a little bit of that lower resolution look to it. You know, it's not as smooth looking as the PS3, you know, the highest quality PS3 games. The terrible battery life and bulky size make such devices pointless, and you'll end up with a slightly dumbed down version of a console game on a tiny screen that you play in your house, while your actual console sits there just in view. Understandable, understandable. Most hardcore gamers would rather play a higher quality console experience on a big screen, and most casual gamers would rather pay a small price for a bite-sized game on their phone. This puts Vita into the same no man's land that PSP occupied. Just for the record, I like the PSP. I think it's a really cool system, maybe a little bit underrated. I got several games for it that I really like, you know, and it is a pretty good alternative to the fucking console, like connecting to the TV and shit like that. I think I just find it a little bit tedious sometimes. Sometimes I just don't want to connect and turn on a system, you know, and play it on the TV. I'd rather just instantly just, you know, play it on my PSP and just fucking game and just enjoy whatever games, you know, the PSP is just, it fills that void. It's very quick and easy, and it's like an instant gratification. With the consoles, you have to load it up, connect all the wires and shit, and just, you know, there's a bit more, you know, it just takes more time. I'm just not a fan of, you know, fucking disconnecting all the cords, and, but, yeah, I mean, I wish they went into the more technical aspects of it, like, yeah, repeating the PSP's mistakes, but what kind of mistakes? You know what I mean? What kind of... They never really specified it, except for the fact that they had weaker, I guess, you know, handheld ports of console games. That, to me, that's not that big of a deal, I think. Because, again, like on the PSP, I'll play Mod Nation Racers or Tekken 6 completely fine, you know, I have no problem with that compared to playing that shit on the consoles. If it still has the same basic gameplay, the same faithful controls, that's fine. So even if it's dumbed down a little bit, or I think that's a little exaggerated, like, it's a misconception that a lot of these ports are just so inferior compared to the fucking console versions. It's not. You know, they're pretty good. Like, you'll play Liberty City Stories or Vice City Stories or something like that, you know, a Grand Theft Auto game on a handheld like the PSP. It's really not that bad, you know, it's a pretty it just depends on the port. You know, maybe a game like Rainbow Six Vegas on PSP, it's not that great, you know, it's okay at best, but it's not nearly as good as the, you know, the fucking console version. So it just depends which ones. You know, I heard Assassin's Creed sucked. You know, certain games, but again, it just depends. Alright, here's another reason. Sony has lost key partnerships. PSP had a few hits that helped fuel the system's prosperity in Japan. Games like Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy, and Kingdom Hearts were extremely popular with the Japanese gamers during the PSP's run. Fast forward to the Vita era, and not one of them has been announced for the system. What could be worse? All three series moved to Nintendo 3DS. Oh, shit. I didn't even know that. In other words, Sony's strongest allies have abandoned ship. I didn't even fucking know that, you know, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and even Monster Hunter went to the fucking 3DS? That's kind of disappointing. That's a big fucking deal. That sucks, man. You know, I mean, that's gotta be one of the top reasons right there. I mean, you know, they don't have a fucking... Those RPGs sell a lot, and I never understood it, you know what I mean? I never understood why. The Monster Hunter, can't say too much about it. I have yet to play the Monster Hunter series. But, like, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, fuck Kingdom Hearts. You know, that game sucks. Those games are shit. Simplistic garbage, you know. Fucking kiddie-ass pseudo-action RPGs. Fuck that. That Disney crap. And Final Fantasy, who cares? Final Fantasy reached its peak years ago. So for me, like, I don't even look for these games. Monster Hunter looks interesting, you know, that could be one of... The only thing is that it's RPGs, and okay, if it's... Just because it's popular in Japan, doesn't fucking mean it's gonna be popular all over the world. The days of Japanese games like Final Fantasy and shit like that being popular worldwide is no longer fucking relevant. It's no longer the thing. You know what's popular now? Call of Duty. Fucking shooting games, okay? First-person shooters, that's what's popular. So if they had a fucking killer app shooter on the PS Vita, or, you know, multiple fucking shooters on there, and the controls were good, and you can actually experience a great first-person shooter title on the Vita, that would make a lot more sense. Not so much so that you have these fucking games like Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts jumping ship. It's like, okay, whatever, who gives a shit? At least for somebody like me, but you know, you need the fucking CODs. You need something like a Killzone that's a real fucking Killzone game, where it's first-person shooter, Battlefield, games like that, you know, something that works right, something that has that control, that fucking first-person experience. That's what the PS Vita needs, not necessarily like these shitty-ass RPGs that they have. It needs those, because look at fucking Call of Duty Black Ops on the Vita. I mean, didn't that game fucking fail? Like, isn't that a piece of shit? Alright, and I think this is the last reason the PS Vita is failing. Sony's first-party games are weak. Okay. Yeah, man, this one... Sony does have a few series in popular genres, but Killzone and Resistance aren't exactly retail superstars. The Uncharted series did reasonably well in the debut Golden Abyss, but it obviously hasn't spurred significant sales. I believe Uncharted Golden Abyss, that's still like the highest selling PS Vita game, I think. One game alone won't convince gamers to buy a new console. Well... That's true, maybe most gamers... I'm the kind of guy that I would buy a fucking system just for one. I've done it in the past. I've done it before. That leaves Sony's biggest series, God of War, which hasn't yet been announced for the Vita. Yeah, you know, that's true. That's fucking true. Oh, God. Sony's fans won't want to hear this, but the gaming public is getting less interested in in-house games of Sony. Most of its best exclusives are based on genres like platforming and hack and slash that have long since gone out of favor. You know, that is very interesting. There is something to that. I never really thought about it, but Sony's first-party games, depending on which, they aren't really that hot as, you know, maybe 10 years ago. There was a time when Sony's exclusives were fucking incredible. You know, they just gotta have something different on the fucking Vita. They gotta have, like, how come they don't have Infamous on the PS Vita? Or do they? Like, why can't they have an Infamous game on there? That's a pretty good fucking first-party exclusive. Yeah, I mean, Resistance, I was never a fan of Resistance. I found that really, like, boring, and it's a pretty standard shooter. Killzone's good, so they gotta have a real Killzone game on there, but Uncharted, yeah, Uncharted's one of those games. It's, you know, it is what it is. It's just one game. It's true, they don't have a lot of fucking exclusives. Overall, I think that this list is, it's got some good points. This was made like the day before they had that fucking PS4 unveiling. I think this is the reason it was made to begin with. February 20th. Yeah. It's a decent list. I mean, it has some really good points. And some other points are just a little bit kind of don't really agree with it, but it's definitely an interesting read. And it's definitely worth checking out. Check it out on the link below. Alright, so this was the answer to the question of the day.